Alright, what up God Gamers? Welcome back to another tier list video. It's going to be one that I haven't done yet. We're going to rank all of the exotic hunter armor. I'm actually really excited to do this because I've actually had a chance to kind of use some of the ones that I haven't really used over the past couple years, or the ones that just released. I've gotten more time to like use them and see how I feel about them. And I'm speaking specifically like stuff like Raiju's Harness, Star Eater Scales, Radiant Dance Machines, Garfalcons, the Facade. I don't know how to say the first part, but the Facade, this one. I really actually like that. I don't know what the first word is of it. It's like a jumbled word, but yeah, it's really good. The new Lightfall exotic that came out. But yeah, we're just going to jump right into the tier list. Make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the tiers I have right here, I have the top tier, S tier being meta, then I have strong, and then I have okay, and then I have not good right now, and then I have bad. The difference between not good right now and bad will be exotics that I don't think are a good use of your exotic slot, but I don't think they're a bad exotic. I just think there's something better. The okay exotics are just the kind of flex exotics, ones you can have on for certain activities. The strong ones are going to be ones that you use for builds or can really be outstanding with builds and stuff like that. And then meta is just going to be the meta. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. We're going to start off with Raiju's Harness. And personally, I think Raiju's Harness is strong right now. I don't think it's meta, especially for PvP. Mainly this will be about PvE, but I will talk about some PvP stuff. That first off being Raiju's Harness is actually really, really strong with Arc Strider. I highly recommend you use it if you haven't. It's really, really good right now. Moving on from that, we have Orpheus Riggs. Orpheus Riggs is definitely meta. I don't think I really need to explain that pick. I feel like everybody unanimously agrees that Orpheus Riggs, regardless of which tether you're running, is really, really strong and arguably the strongest hunter exotic for PvE. Assassin's Cal. Assassin's Cal, I'm going to put in not good right now, mainly because I just don't like it. I know a lot of people actually use this thing sometimes, but I don't really like it. I don't think it's a bad exotic. I just don't think it's really strong right now. I know there's been a couple good uses of it for the past couple seasons, but right now there's a lot better options, and I just don't think it's in the place it needs to be in. Graviton Forfeit. I want to put it in meta, but I'm going to put it in strong because I don't think it's meta. Having 8-second invis and then chaining your invis with your dodge and your smoke is really, really strong. That's pretty much all it does, but I actually really enjoy the 8-minute invis timer. I really, really like it. Moving on from that, we have Star Eater Scales. I will also put Star Eater Scales in strong. I don't think they're meta. I think if you can get the stacks for Star Eater Scales and then you get your super off, it's really, really powerful, especially with things like 3-shot tether and Blade Barrage, stuff like that. Gathering Storm, stuff like that. Really, really strong. But overall, it's not really meta. You don't see the mass majority of hunters running around with Star Eater Scales, but it's still really good. Moving on from that, we have Shinobu's Vow. This one's kind of interesting because skip grenades kind of suck. And let's just be honest here. When was the last time you used skip grenades? I think I'm going to put this in bad. Even with a skip grenade build, if you can call it a build, if you just build into skip grenades, it's still not a great option. And there's so many better options right now. And I kind of think it needs a rework. I kind of think it needs a buff. But yeah. Moving on from that, we have R3's Embrace. R3's Embrace. I can say that word. Holy shit. This thing is really strong. I don't care what anybody says. If you're a golden gun hunter who runs around with R3's Embrace, oh my god, can I not say Embrace? You know how strong it is. The tracking on the throwing knife with the Embrace is so strong, and I highly recommend more people try it out, especially if you like running golden gun hunter. Moving on from that, we have Mask of Bacchus. I'm going to put it in okay. I don't think it's bad right now, but I don't think it's meta anymore. Now that, Strand is out, a lot more of the Strand exotics are starting to, kind of poke out a little more than the stasis ones, although Bacchus is still really strong. I just don't really see a lot of people using it, and I also think it might need a little bit of a buff, but we'll move on from that. We have the Speedloader Slacks. I think the Speedloader Slacks are honestly okay. I actually made the mistake of choosing these over the helmet, the Facade, at the end of the Lightfall campaign, because I thought these would be really good, and they're pretty strong, but they're not as good as I want them to be. I think the AE value needs to be up a little bit more, and they need to give you more of an incentive to run, because there's really no point in running this when you have something kind of like, where is it? Dragon Shadow. I feel like Dragon Shadow is probably the better option if you're going to run something that when you're dodging or around enemies or whatever, you get like buffs or anything. I think Dragon Shadow is better than Speedloader Slacks. Gemini Gestures are strong. I don't think I need to speak on that. It's just when you dodge, you disorient targets. It's okay for PvE, but it's mainly strong in PvP. But I actually really enjoy Gemini Gestures. Moving on from that, we have the Garfalcons. I think Garfalcons is still meta. I think it'll be even more meta next season once we get rid of Volatile Flow and Bricks from Beyond. I think Garfalcons will be probably one of, if not the most used hunter exotic in the game. Just my opinion. Sorry, I'm talking like a mile a minute here. Moving on from that, we have Dragon Shadow. I'm going to put Dragon Shadow in the same tier as Speedloader Slack, so I'm going to put it above. I know Dragon Shadows are really, really strong, and a lot of people really like it. Not my favorite exotic, though. I don't think it belongs in the tier up here with like Raiju's and R3s and, Crappets and Forfeit. I think Dragon Shadow's in a fine place right now. I definitely think it could use a bit of a buff, but that's just my opinion. Knucklehead Radar, we have mods for you now. You are bad. There is a reason why you only see level 20 noobs. Well, I mean, you can't be level 20. There's a reason why you see underlight new lights running Knucklehead Radar, because it's the only exotic they have, because they practically give it to you for free. And other than that, once you get a better one, you never really touch it again. Knucklehead Radar is a sorely overrated, or not overrated, but it's just really bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's really, really bad. I really wish they would rework it or give it some extra buffs. But, we have radar perks now that are just, kind of act, a little bit like Knucklehead Radar. I know you get your, radar when you're ADSing with this, but, I mean, who cares, honestly? Nobody's used it for PvP. There's better exotics. Moving on, we have the Facade. Ooh. This is meta right now. I think it's because Strand just came out is why it's meta. My prediction for the future is that I'll put it back in strong. Although right now, Woven Mail is super busted for PvP, and Bungie's probably not going to fix it for the next couple months. So for the time being, the whatever Facade exotic hunter helmet from the Lightfall campaign will be a meta tier. I absolutely love using this thing. It's really, really strong, especially when you compare it with like Lorentz Driver. My friend Wamo Combo, he made a video talking about Lorentz Driver with Woven Mail and Unflinching mods is essentially busted. And this helmet really, really strong. Blight Ranger, I'm going to put in not good right now. I haven't touched it since it came out, and I don't plan on touching it anytime soon. And that's all I will say about the Blight Ranger. If you think I am incorrect in that and you think it's busted and that I don't know something, tell me in the comments and maybe I'll give it another try. Although I just don't think it's good right now. I think it was fun when it first came out, but I personally chose the other exotic. I chose what's called Renewable Grasps when Witch Queen campaign came out. And then I got Blight Ranger and I was like, meh. Foe Tracer, bad. There's a reason nobody uses Foe Tracer. I know there's going to be a Foe Tracer stand in the comments being like, you fucking idiot. How could you dare? How dare could you, put Foe Tracer in the worst tier? It's like, it's not good. I'm sorry. It's not. Lucky Pants. Lucky Pants, I will put in strong. I don't think Lucky Pants are meta, but I know tons of people that say Lucky Pants are the best hunter exotic in the game. So I'm willing to give it a strong tier, although I don't really think it is that good. I think there's much better options like Orpheus or like Garfalcons or even the Facade for both PvP and PvE. Moving on from that, we have Lucky Raspberry. I think Lucky Raspberry is okay. If you guys have tested this recently, Arc Bolt Grenades are actually really, really strong, and Lucky Raspberry essentially gives you your Arc Bolt Grenade back. It kind of works as like a Arc Firebolt Grenade in the sense that you can actually chain these really, really well with Lucky Raspberry, so I highly recommend you guys use it, although I don't really think it's too strong right now. There definitely needs to be some buffs just to Arc Bolt Grenades, and that's what this exotic kind of revolves around, is Arc Bolt Nades being strong, and I think Arc Bolt Nades are not very good right now. I think they could be improved. They definitely need like a buff or something, so... moving on from that, we have Gwyn's Invest. Gwyn's Invest, not good right now. The only reason Gwyn's Invest is not good right now is because, the super is not good right now. If they buff the super, then Gwyn's Invest will obviously be better, but right now there's no reason to run that super in both PvP and PvE. If you're going to run it in PvP, sorry, Jesus, I can talk. If you're going to run it in PvP, you might as well just run Tether. You should not run, what is it called? Shadow Step? Something like that? I don't remember. But yeah, don't run that super. Don't run Gwyn's Invest. Not good right now. But it's not like bad. Ophidius Spade. Ooh. This one's interesting because I actually really like this exotic. Haven't used it in a little bit, but I actually really like it, so I'm willing to put it in okay. I put it in strong. I'm willing to put it in okay. I probably should do more testing with it. I haven't ran it in a little bit, but I actually enjoyed using it when I played Golden Gun, and I will be willing to put it in okay tier right now. Moving on from that, we have Stompies. Unfortunately, I think I have to put Stompies in not good right now. There's a reason no Hunter main runs it anymore. It used to be the OEM of the Hunter class for PvP. Stompies used to be the Hunter exotic, and now it is no longer. Mainly because they nerfed, Airborne effectiveness when you use Stompies like gives you decreased airborne effectiveness for all your weapons, and you get the jump height, but you can't kill anybody. So it essentially just kind of like it counteracts each other. So you get the slide, you get the higher jump, you get the faster sprint speed, but you can't kill anybody in the air, and that's the whole point of the exotic. So yeah. Omnioculus is meta. 6 Coyote is definitely strong right now. Don't think it's meta. Omnioculus is so good for getting that damage resistance while invis, and then 6 Coyote getting that second dodge, especially if you're running arc and you can get the chain melees, you will have infinite dodge and infinite melee for sure. Really strong. The Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves, I'm going to put it in not good right now, but I have a feeling next season the Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves are going to be really good because of the sidearm buff. I think Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves, do not sleep on it next season, but this tier list is for as of right now. Maybe I'll make another tier list once next season comes out and the weapon changes come out. But I have a feeling with next season Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves will be really so strong. So yeah. Moving on from that, Renewal Grasp. I actually really like these. I think they're okay right now. I think when Stasis was the thing, these would definitely be S tier. But since, Strand's out, nobody really uses these anymore. I don't really use these anymore. I like the damage resistance with the Stasis Crystals, though. It's really nice. But I don't really run it anymore. So I'm just going to put it in OK tier. There's better builds out there. What's it called? Oath Keepers. Ooh. I think Oath Keepers are okay. I think they could definitely still use a buff. I definitely think there needs to be more of a gimmick to it rather than just having infinite bow duration or infinite bow hold. I do like that, but I don't think it's necessary right now in the game. And if that ever becomes necessary, then these will be, meta. But as of right now, and for the past couple of years since they came out, you don't really see a lot of people use them for good reason. Caliban's Hand. I hate Caliban's Hand. And this is a personal thing. I'm sorry if you're a Caliban's Hand stan. But I hate Caliban's Hand. I hate this. I hate Proximity Knife in general, and I don't like this. So I'm putting Caliban's Hand in bad. I do not like that exotic, and I don't like Proximity Knives. If you're going to use throwing knives, use the weighted knife, or even, hell, the lightweight knife. But don't use Proximity Knife, please. Liar's Handshake is strong, not meta. Very strong. The melee combo with 1-2 punch and trench barrel is really strong with this. You can do some serious boss DPS with Liar's Handshake. Definitely recommend you use it, especially on bosses like Riven or any boss you can get kind of close to, like a Lost Sector boss. If you're doing Legend Lost Sectors, it's really good for champions, really good for bosses. Super strong. Sealed Ahamkara's Grasp. I'm going to put it in bad, only because there's no practical use to it. It's just you get an additional melee charge, right? Something like that. I don't like Sealed Ahamkara's Grasp. That's just a personal thing. Wormhusk is meta. It's been meta since it came out in Warmind. Being able to dodge and get health back, I think we all know, is just really strong. I don't really think I need to defend that, but it's just, yeah, it's meta. Radiant Dance Machines. I will put Radiant Dance Machines in okay as of right now. I'm not the biggest fan of Radiant Dance Machines. I think it's cool, and there's certain applications for it. There's certain instances when you can get infinite dodge with it and you can do some cool damage, but as it's kind of just gimmicky and it's very situational of an exotic, I'd say a good use of it is maybe the Nezarec fight, although it still won't work 100% of the time there, but it's actually pretty good in the Nezarec fight. And if it's in an activity where there's a lot of ads and you're dodging constantly, then you could get some good use out of it. Other than that, though, I don't really see the practical application of it. Frosties are okay. Frosties are fine. I don't think they're super strong right now. I don't think they're meta. I think they're okay. And they've kind of been okay since they came out in Warmind. I like the fact that you can get melee and grenade energy back and dodge energy back just from running, although I feel like it should be a little more. It's kind of always had that stigma where it's like, it's cool. It does, refund your ability energy, but at the same time, it's not really fast enough to make use of it. And you kind of have to make yourself run in order to get it to work, when in most situations, you wouldn't really be running all that much. So that's kind of how I feel about Frosties. Khepri Sting. I think Khepri Sting is strong right now. Haven't used it in a minute, if I'm being honest, but I remember the last time I used it, I really liked it. If I'm wrong on that, let me know in the comments. But I personally really like Khepri Sting. Moving on from that, Raiden Flux. I gotta be honest, guys. Arcstrider is not what you want to use right now, and if you're gonna use Arcstrider, you should use Ryder's Harness. That's all I'll say about it. Raiden Flux, I'm sure, is good. The damage stacking with Arc Staff. I will put it in strong because I could be completely wrong about it. I actually do see a couple people use this, so maybe I'm wrong on it. But I really enjoy using Raiden Flux back in the day. I have no idea how it is right now, although I do see a lot of people run it, so I will put it in strong. And if it's anything as good as, Raiju's Harness, I know they're two completely different exotics for the same subclass. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Moving on from that, the Aeons. Aeons are meta. I don't care what anybody says. Being able to get heavy ammo on any single character, or for any single character in a GM, a master content, just by killing a yellow bar or killing a champion is super helpful. Makes the ammo economy a lot better for when it comes to like raids and Nightfalls and master content, stuff like that. It's just so good. So I will always put Aeons in meta, at least since that change. Sealed Ahamkar's Spine is actually, I think right now, really strong. The Trip Mine build for PvE, I was kind of a hater of at first, although I actually really do like it now. If you guys don't know, you can essentially get infinite like knives and Trip Mines with this exotic in PvE. And in PvP, it's actually pretty good because Trip Mines are actually really strong, especially for like last week's Trials map, Distant Shore. Trip Mines were really, really dominant. You got killed by a Trip Mine like every other game, if not every game. And I actually really enjoy Seal Hamakar's Spine. So yeah. Moving on from that, we have Shards of Galanor. I think Shards right now are probably meta. I think they will be at the top of meta if we do get a Solar season or Solar mods next season. That would be really sick. I think we're getting Arc mods next season according to the leaks. I could be wrong on that. But especially when we have Solar mods that just makes Shards of Galanor that much better. I actually really do enjoy using Shards of Galanor personally. I love using Blade Barrage for boss DPS, and I think they're meta personally. I could be wrong on that. They could be bad, although I really enjoy using them. Bombardiers are bad. I'm not even going to speak on Bombardiers. Bombardiers are just trash, in my opinion. I like the idea of being able to leave behind an explosion. I guess it makes for some fun, silly clips if in PvP. Sometimes you get a kill with them, most of the times you don't. But I just feel like, once again, it just falls into that same thing where it's like the practical application of using it makes no sense, and it's not very easy to utilize. And when an exotic requires you to do something very, very specific, and when it's something like that where dodging leaves behind an explosion and you have to get the target to the area where the explosion is, it's not really that great. Celestial Nighthawk is our final one for the video, and I'm going to properly put Celestial Nighthawk in strong. I think there's been a long time where it's been meta. I don't think it's meta right now, and I only think it's not meta because we're in a Void season. I think, once again, if we get more Solar mods in the game, especially for Solar Supers, Celestial Nighthawk will be on top. It still arguably is meta. I put it at the top of strong. It's just barely meta. I just don't think you really see that many people run it anymore. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the exotic hunter tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. I appreciate all of you. And let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. And all right. Yeah. Have a great rest of your day, guys. All right.